He's like trying to figure out what style the team should even pursue in the first place, like how they actually want to grow Team Liquid as a group of players. So I gotta imagine a similar slow road could be here for Winterfox as well, where maybe not immediate results, but eventually
support staff has definitely shown to be a huge factor in the success of North American LCS teams, and Winterfox, you know, hearing that they were really lacking in that role is definitely, you know, not something that you want to hear, but they have found an answer. And Pika stepping in.
Well, right off the bat, though, Team Impulse making some pretty standard choices there. Removed some defensive tanks from Avalon, removed tank from Helios. Maybe there's going to be no frontline left after all. Glebe playing mostly squishy supports himself.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Even though, you know, Winterfox, they're back with the Nold or whatever lineup that you talked about. They're using the same players once again, but they did not use the same picks. And the champions are very important to how Winterfox were finding success. So much of their success was found on, you know, Pobelter the Assassin, and then the standard point-and-click CCs for Avalon and Helios for the team fights, and they would just hard engage on somebody. Pobelter would wreck house, and Altec, a superb AD carry, they gave him a good front line, and they gave him a front line that had hard CC to work with. That was really the key when Winterfox were winning games. So we'll see if they go back more towards those types of picks. Already, though, Hecarim makes it fairly scary for the bottom lane. If Impact ever does get a lead and you lose track of a Hecarim, those are some of the most devastating teleport ganks in the entire game.
Absolutely the case, but looks like Winterfox, to deny all this, picks up Janna for Glebe, Nunu here for Helios. Now, Belter, Altec, and Glebe, among the three of them, didn't pull any bans whatsoever, so the big carry forces, I feel, for Winterfox can pick whatever they want. Counterpick potential also available for these guys.
Rush right now, wavering between Nidalee and Lee. I would definitely favor Nidalee just to diversify the damage types. A couple of teams have run into the problem of running AD heavy comps into Nunu. Nunu applies so many attack speed slows. He's such a good zoning tank that it's very hard to run heavy AD into him. And Nidalee, on the other hand, does not run into those problems. Great poke, great magic damage, should balance out the squad.
And think about what you're looking at here with this team comp. Winterfox have purely disengaged-based champions facing the queen of poke and Nidalee. Like, you have to, at some point, actually pin that champion down if you want to win a game. So, Rush, I think, so far set up for success in this one. Impact likely able to split push with impunity over Avalon from how we've seen these guys play. Lulu comes in for Avalon after all. Pobelter does get an assassin. Zed comes in here.
So interesting here, though. Even though Pobelter's on an assassin, they have set up Altec to be the huge carry this game. Altec is poised to take over the entire event. He's got Janna, Nunu, and Lulu. This is the dream team for hyper AD carry games. So we'll see if they can pull it off. Pobelter likely to do some split pushing, but we'll see here. The four-man squad for Winterfox. So much protection, and a lot of offensive ability can be added to Altec.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you run a type of comp like this where it's centered around an AD carry and buffing them up, my favorite AD carry to run is Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
Because he has mixed damage, percentage damage, and he comes online way earlier than the other endgame hyper carries like Jinx, because he only needs one item for you to be able to group up and start pressing and to max his W. Once he has one skill max and a Trinity Force, you can already start grouping up and taking advantage of the synergy between all those support champions.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely something to keep in mind. Now, Adrian had actually hovered Kog'Maw for like the first 30 seconds of that pick phase. He was like, yeah, I see you coming, by the way. This looks like that kind of composition. So Team Impulse not unaware of this one. Now, it interests me that Xiao is going for Yasuo once again here.
So, about that style pick, it's he just loves it. It's not just for styling on teams, I feel like. Unless they're, because I don't feel like they would treat this game the same way that they treated the last game.
And the question for me is, how many split pushes are going to be there for Team Impulse? And no, Winterfox go for Twitch as their hyper carry of choice.
So it's not Altec's favorite hyper carry is Kog'Maw. His, it turns out, is Twitch, who is definitely an extremely strong late game carry.
Sure.
It has the ability to hit technically all members of one team if he gets,
except for Windwall,
a really good ultimate off. Windwall could block something. many things.
Yeah, basically everything that Winterfox ever tries to do.
So that's actually a fairly good answer to AD carry-centric comps.
Wow.
Interesting. We'll see, too, because technically Hecarim does have a knockback. His charge, he could set up Xiao. And if you ever get Hecarim and Yasuo on top of Twitch,
Oh, God.
even with so many shields, should be able to take him out. The problem is getting Hecarim over there, though, because there's so many slows he has to get through. Very difficult, as we said, to get through not only Nunu and Lulu, but, of course, the Janus there.
All right, so a lot of interference here available for Winterfox, but a lot of go buttons for Team Impulse, and at least a nice fallback pattern of looking for thresh hooks, looking for javelins, so not entirely a one-way composition, but certainly you can tell the goals for both of these teams, and it mostly says, Twitch, do you kill everyone, or get killed?
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
And Winterfox have multiple options, too. They've got the split push for a Pro Belter there still available.
All right, we'll see what happens here in this one. Remember to share your predictions for us this game. Tweet hashtag TIPWin or hashtag WFXWin to @LOL Esports. Let us know who you think's going to win this game. Team Impulse looking to make their way up the standings. Winterfox to stay alive and hope for 7th with this one.
Yes, they definitely want to get themselves out of that relegation tournament. And this is a very important game getting them there. TIP already grouping up. Fan cheers, and it looks like they will look for some early deep wars. Defensive ward, nope.
Go.
Suboptimal. Try and get it a little bit higher on that curve, and it will bounce over. But it still will see any counter invades.
Yeah, but a late invade either way. Team Impulse wanted to go towards the blue buff. They get the ward down, so 10 gold Xiao ahead so far in this game. If he wants to break a CS record, it's an easy way to start.
He tries everything he can. All the tricks, all the tricks of the book to break CS records. He takes all the baby camps from jungle camps, kills as many wards as he can get early on. They even have a sweeper on Nidalee. Oh, is he going to give it to Xiao?
Yeah!
Oh!
You see that? He waits around.
He's at 2 already. All right. We're getting really hyped up here just because
what else is there?
It's been a while since we've cast. But honestly, yeah, just 2 ward kills. So, deep wards on there for Team Impulse. They will not see Altek and Glebe because they are already pulling off the lane swap going top. Trying to get away from the Graves, you know, notorious Twitch that is for weak laning phase. Even with Janna to back him up, really scary to go into a Thresh Graves lane. So definitely want to get to his Blade of the Ruined King, his invisibility early, and he's going to do a standard lane swap here, group up the minions, see if they can deny impact at all. Because we've seen so many many a Hecarim struggle in 2v1 situations. Very good initial lane grouping here for Winterfox, as Altek has got the lane pushing against him. They should be able to zone Hecarim. Adrian with the classic
quick
support
play.
gank.
Decent damage down, gets another Q. Xiao getting some good damage output into this one.
And that really helps out in the Zed Yasuo matchup. You know, any sort of interference goes a very long way this early on. Rush heading over to his weak side jungle. He's going to find himself a bit late, but will he be too late to save impact? Doesn't look like the wave is going to get there quite in time. Rush hitting level 2 should be enough to dissuade them. He doesn't even have heal, but just the fact that the turrets are still extremely strong, allowing them to 2 versus 4. Front and tower dive off.
So early aggression traded back and forth. Impulse was to pressure Pro Belter. That went okay. Xiao pretty much on perfect minion kills up until this point. Meanwhile, Winterfox's pressure was top lane, but that got stymied. Avalon will teleport down to this bot lane. He's got basically nothing to show for himself except for half a jungle camp. And will be holding up against Apollo here. But it's freezing against him. It's going to be real hard for Avalon.
Even though Apollo's by himself, they see everyone except for Nunu. So if they ever get wind of Nunu's positioning, or if he gets some support warding, then he will be able to bully that Lulu. Altek Under fire.
Exhaust and Ignite are on backwards play after a flash spell. Someone he'll use to move away. The Javelin hits. Glebe cannot land the CC, and that is first blood right out the bat to Impact.
What a play. Set up by Adrian and Impact. Rush comes in. Perfect timing. Lands the spear. Post flash. Very hard for Altec to be able to dodge that one. And what do you want to start off the game if you're facing a 3 support comp centered around an AD? Get an early kill on the AD and slow his farm down. That's a huge wave that was built up. Altec's missing a whole bunch of early game CS right now because he was in the death chamber. Glebe doing his best to pick some up there, but that is a really good start here for Impulse.
It absolutely is. An Impact now almost halfway to his Merc Tread's home guard build just because of the first blood here. The flank play is going to be happening sooner than Winterfox might have expected here. Avalon does seem unperturbed in his bot lane, though, actually getting himself some minion farm and getting some experience. So that's good to see for Winterfox that the other lane's not going too miserably. Helios, in fact, with all that pressure top lane, gets to counter jungle as well, get a trinket ward down. So, you know, a bit of good things happening here for the red team, but they, of course, are a bit behind.
Rush finds out his camp has been stolen, and he has a good reaction, by the way. You see his immediate activation of the sweeper, seeing that his camp was stolen. So the highest likelihood of a ward placement is in that Wraith Bush. That is one of the hottest spots for early wards. And the ward sweeping accuracy is one of the hardest things to get used to. But Rush guesses, and he's correct. Finds himself a ward up top. Altec able to give as good as he gets.
Question is now, how does this battle unfold? Apollo had pretty undisturbed minion farm until he chose to swap back up here. I imagine he's got to have, like, yeah, longsword to pickaxe, exactly. Yeah. So Altec down 15 AD before Janna Shield. Gonna have a pretty hard time fighting.
Yeah, that double wave that he lost really gonna haunt him. And Adrian has already shown some good hooks. Not since matching back up, but Rush, again, paying a lot of attention to the Twitch lane in this comp. Lended his support up to the top side and recalled on a ward. Let's bring up Helios to make the next move as junglers are concerned. Anytime you see someone recall on a ward like that for the jungler, Helios has got to keep track of that. You add 30 seconds onto it at minimum, the time to get back out to around the secondary turrets. And since they just saw him on the top side, you can infer that he's going to go to the bottom side. So this is the way that you play jungle. You take a small amount of information and you extrapolate the next minute or so, where is the enemy jungler going to be, and you can base your route around that. So he should know that there is 90% chance, basically, that Rush is down on the bottom side right now.
And indeed he is. He spends a little bit of time putting some wards down. I believe he put his own pink ward down aggressively, and then another trinket ward, green ward in the enemy jungle.
Great play here by Helios. He knows, as we said, Rush on the bottom side, so he heads top. There's no possibility of the counter gank.
No flash for Adrian. A lot of damage comes through. Altec does get the kill. TP comes in to support Apollo. Impact really wants to make this happen. Ult in Glebe. Beautiful. Ignite should be enough. It goes to Apollo. Both AD carries get a kill in this fight. And Impulse will disengage after shoving the wave out.
Curious to see when the Ignite was put on Glebe, because he walked back into auto attack range of Apollo to get the bird down. He might have just thought he was going to die to Ignite anyway. Went back in for the extra slow. But regardless, kill goes over to Apollo, picking up that one.
And it's worth pointing out, after all swaps are said and done, Avalon is significantly ahead of Impact and minion kills. Granted, the TP top lane is part of that, but Avalon, we keep talking about how he has such a horrible time in lane. What a rare sight. He's up 10 CS, but top lane is still the focus. Impact's waiting around. Altec taking a whole bunch of damage, pushed around, but not dying. Helios out of mana, but has the visionary passive. Avalon does get caught out here, though, by Rush and Adrian. Fights the top lane, too. Apollo will kill off Altec. So there's one picked up. Rush with a second one. Impulse getting kills all over the map.
Madness here. 2 members of Winterfox go down. Dragon's going to go over to Impulse. And Pobelter's roam up top is going to be successful.
Flash ult, that's a good kill. I believe even took turret aggro. What a homie. 4 assists, sorry, 3 assists for that one.
Now, the roam up top, though, not only is there 0% chance of contesting this dragon, but also Xiao, hard farm, shove that lane right in the turret. He's going to get an extra wave over there, and maybe some turret damage to go on top of it.
So again, of course, he backed for an early Avarice blade on top of that one, so he's even getting more money than he's supposed to for this.
Well, this is the way that he always plays Yasuo. It's fairly... Okay, let's take a look at the interrupts here.
Yeah.
Adrian again, hook onto stationary target. Still got to give him props for it, for being there in time, I guess. And Rush able to follow it up. Italy, no way you're getting away from that one. So, like I was saying, yeah, he always goes for that Avarice Rush. And I've rarely seen him punished for it. Definitely not in this one since Zed went roaming, but quickly upgrades into Static Shiv anyway, so small amount of extra gold earned there. And Xiao up to his first big power points with the Shiv.
He's fine, don't worry. Lee puts a ward down. Hey, he's low!
Yeah.
Rush decides to hide.
He's also Nidalee with double buffs. Very scary. As a support, under-leveled in lane swap situation.
Yeah. So now the question is, where does the aggression come in? Team Impulse are, I would say, pretty far ahead for this point of the game. 10 minutes, 2,000 gold up, pretty decent. Now, bot lane's being pressured by the duo lane. They're letting Altec and Glebe do whatever and limp around in top lane with very few items. Yeah. Bot lane turret's going to be a pretty easy kill.
I feel like, yeah, most of the pressure is centered around this Graves with ginormous flat AD for this stage in the game. Apollo with the pickaxe straight into BF sword. And being a semi-AD caster, AD carry and Graves definitely can take a large chunk out of any target. Meanwhile, we did not see the home guard rush for Impact. Instead, he opted for the Sheen to get the extra auto attack damage. Now,
TP's down, why not?
You won't have the extra speed. Yeah, TP is down, so not going to get the extra speed anyway.
Now he's just forced to last end of the turret. Doing an okay job of that one, I suppose. 50 minions ain't too bad for Hecarim in a 1v2 for most of the game. Mid lane, another pressure right away as well. It's just Rush and Xiao not using the marksman for this one.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about ranged junglers, just because there are so few ranged junglers and we see it so infrequently, are the early visits to solo lanes where you can pressure the turret and deny the enemy laner CS. Even though he just shows up and gets a little bit of tower damage, do your best to deny the enemy the laner CS. I mean, the first time we kind of saw it was back when we had Ezreal jungle.
Yeah. Yeah. You show up to Janna mid.
It was a very long time ago, try and shove down early turrets.
Velocity.
It's a time long gone, but Jungle Nidalee now can also do similar things. And let's see where Rush roams next. Plenty of wards up top, though, for Winterfox, as so much of Impulse's focus has been on keeping Altec down early, trying to get him some visual support. Xiao waits for the ultimate. Takes a big
jump. Ignite gets him anyway. Well, Belger with a solo kill off Brutalizer. Nicely done.
Well then. Best ZNA tournament winner, Pobelter, able to all-in Yasuo post-6. Surprised Xiao wasn't a bit more scared of the all-in. But man, there it is.
Wow. Early burst before the exhaust comes down. Altec forced to turn tail and run. The flash away from Impact as well. Yeah, no surprise here. Altec, though.
Yeah. He went back towards the turret. Pink ward was dropped by, I believe Impact brought that one to the party.
Wow, what an excellent play. It's going to be in the top turret. Goes down when they want it to. Avalon still left alone bot lane. Last time he TP'd, Thresh hooked him. And he's not even going to show up in this one. Impact just simply making a nice lane gank. Apollo will knock this turret down. This makes it 2 outers dropped by the demolition crew of Graves and whoever else shows up.
And Impact is now down on the bottom side of the map after that appearance, and he hasn't even had to blow his teleport, now with home guards.
Yeah.
So that early home guard teleport that we're looking for from Hecarim players, very scary because it will not only be the extra speed converted to attack damage, but also the Sheen proc from Impact. If he gets behind Altec one more time, that will be very, very difficult.
Ooh, dodge on the tornado. Bit of damage from Pobelter. Xiao is forced to get out of this one. No summoners lost by him.
Good support there from Rush and Adrian. Still though, this story of the Graves, Apollo is set to take over this game right now. Huge flat attack damage. Also went with early Zerker Greaves, so they actually are shoving up very deep in the lane even without vision, just because they have such a big lead. They saw 3 members of Winterfox mid.
Who's going to kill you? As long as you see Zed, it's like, Lulu with no items.
Twitch is definitely not going to open up on you.
No,
They've
he'll die.
done such a good job. They've stunted Altec's growth.
Oh. I mean, rats are already pretty small. Rush continue to take what control he can over important neutral objectives. Bottom Scuttler in time for Dragon, that'll be nice, just to help secure that. Gotta imagine Winterfox unlikely to contest much here.
Yeah. Those Scuttle Crabs, when you're playing Nidalee, are just walking bags of gold, scuttling through the river. Very easy for her to combo those quickly. Impact, though. He's got his sight set once again on Altec, on a ward. This time he's got another pink ward as well. Oh, there it is.
All right, TP from Avalon doesn't come in time, and Impact says, that's cute, but hold on, the rest of the team is showing up. Glebe is here, Impact has no ult and no escape tools at all. Pelter shows up on top of that one. Who's gonna get the kill? It will go to Avalon.
So the ping's a bit late onto that Dragon. Apollo and Adrian should be able to hold the mid lane line, though, and shove it into the turret to buy plenty of time for Rush to go handle the business down there. They saw 3 members up top, unable to get down to Dragon in time. So this should be another Impulse Dragon because of the play from Impact. Impulse gain pressure mid, pressure bottom, and the neutral objectives inside the jungle.
Yeah, and Avalon staying top and Impact having teleport up means Impulse can take a very slow route there, wait for the respawn, take as many objectives as possible before that happens due to the increased numbers. Very smart, controlled play by Impulse. That was really, really good.
Man, they are punishing this Twitch pick so heavily. Low mobility champion does have the escape of invisibility, but Impact comes prepared every time he looks for a kill.
And he still hasn't teleported. These are still him walking into lanes.
Yeah, still waiting for it. That's the thing about Home Guard, right? Not only does it make your teleports really powerful, but you don't have to waste your teleport to get back to lanes because get out there in half the time.
Yeah, press E, just walk off the platform. You get to like tier 2 turret before any of those speed buffs wear off, and Impact doing a good job getting around the map here. Now the kill score, oddly enough, is very close. If you look at the scoreboard, 6-4, oh, decent game. No, it's very far apart right now. Team Impulse winning in farm, heavily in the AD carry role, winning in turrets and dragons by a lot.
Yeah, Nidalee gonna farm harder than you can possibly keep up with. So Rush also with a giant CS lead. Completed a jungle item as well as a tier, and setting his sights on the Munchkin. Gotta readjust their sights.
Yeah, the Flay though is in there. Avalon will flash the wall. It's gonna be enough to get away. Altec is around, by the way. Put some damage on a Rush. Rush not ready to get away from that one. The damage will be enough. Altec at 1 and 4 gets a kill, but gets hooked too. Not a good thing for the Rat. The Janna shields are almost enough. But it's not enough because here comes Impact. Ult comes in, 2 more kills picked up. Solo kill in the mid lane, sorry, bot lane, meanwhile for Pobelter. But overall, is that just a 2 for 2?
Well, if you take Pobelter's solo kill and put it into the equation, then yes. The jumble up top was actually the jumble up top was actually in favor there for Team Impulse, especially since they can stick around with an AD carry with an Infinity Edge taking down your turrets. But man, Pobelter is doing his best to keep the team in this game, punishing Xiao for his love of Yasuo.
True. But what's crazy, you just saw the power of having teleport there. Team Impulse won the fight in the top lane and pushed top lane tier 2. Pobelter won the fight in the bottom lane, couldn't push bot lane thanks to a Hecarim TP.
Yeah, all right, so let's take a look at another 1v1 that Xiao initiates and takes with his exhaust. He exhausted early before Pobelter used his ultimate. So then Pobelter's able to use his ultimate not only to dodge some time of the exhaust, but also after it falls off, full damage, and Yasuo is no more. Blade of the Rune King completed for Altec though, before the last skirmish up top. And now that he's got his Brutalizer, maybe looking for some more squishy targets, even though he's been heavily targeted by Team Impulse. could start to try and make some plays. Show up on the map unexpected.
Yeah.
Since nobody has played Twitch in so long, they will probably not be ready for any surprise Twitch assassinations. However, it's going to be hard to pull those off because he is so far behind.
Right, and speaking of so far behind, Twitch, of course, the stealth only lasts up to 8 seconds, and wards are so far behind the line of scrimmage, essentially, that you'll see him coming a lot of the time from Team Impulse.
That is one of the good things that we could say here for Winterfox. They've done a very, very good job of defensive warding and trying to clean their own jungle of Impulse vision.
See then if they can get the Twitch to come in through stealth after all, then keep the wards down. Very important in this case. Looking for mostly assassinations here from Winterfox, whereas Team Impulse a bit more brute force in their methods.
Yes, definitely the case, especially with Trinity Force completed for Hecarim. Impact looking to make some plays. No more teleport though, because as you said, he used the teleport to save the objective down bottom.
That's fine. Looks like no big rush here. 2 minutes on the Dragon. Teleport will be up in time for that, actually. It was used on a turret, so only a 4-minute cooldown. It's basically a 3-second window. TP comes up, then Dragon comes up right after, but right on time, so Team Impulse can be happy about that one. And they're sitting on a 5,000 gold lead, 20 minutes in. Pretty significant margin here. Helios makes a trip down to the south jungle, gets some really good wards to see when Impulse might want to group for Dragon. That could be very useful for getting those Twitch picks or those Zed picks. Belter left alone bot lane as well. Nunu's not far. See if Yasuo tries to do much here.
Interesting here. Xiao definitely be the target. Oh, wow, the hook. I'll take right on the front lines. But we can already see the power of the support-heavy team.
Yeah, 2 shields, 2 ulti live. Belter goes in through the death mark. Ult's on in. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but with Nunu, it just might be. Xiao nowhere to go. Helios gets an assist.
Well, Belter knows it's going to be enough. He leaves the party early.
Wow.
And I didn't even think the exhaust was going to be back up, but Xiao has to use it on cooldown. Still dies once again. Team Impulse, though, despite Yasuo going down again, able to take mid lane.
Well done. Bot lane outer will fall all the same. So Winterfox starting to make a bit of headway with Poe Belter, who's 4-0, by the way. Let's keep that in mind. He's making everything happen for Winterfox. The rest of the team just trying to keep up. Impulse, though, about to knock down all Tier 1 and Tier 2 turrets. The Dragon is up, and it looks like Impulse happy to take this one down uncontested.
The hope for Winterfox is that Poe Belter can use this strength and split push long enough for Altec to build up a couple of items, and then they can start to group and make use of the support synergy. Until that point, though, because they had such a rough early game, they're really, really relying on Poe Belter's individual skill to get through this early part.
Oh. We'll see what else Poe Belter can do. Double Armor Pen is done. Ruin King as well. He is basically immune to target selection problems. Anything he targets will die. Even the Hecarim. He'll straight kill Impact, so Hecarim has to be afraid. First armor items coming through now is going Frozen Heart, but no health items will be somewhat troubling all the same. You can still burn that champion down. Impact stays bot lane. We'll see how that duel ends up shaping up. No Ignite for Poe Belter. There is one for Impact. That may make a difference as well.
Yeah, you can see how Winterfox are executing this, though. They try and feed the easy lane, mid lane, shoved up in their own territory over to Altec. Trying to funnel that money into their AD carry, while Poe Belter buys some time, distracting Impulse down bottom. As he said, Dragon ready. Winterfox actually starting this. They're really relying on Helios Nunu to quickly take this objective. Can Rush jump in? No, doesn't even want to because the spear did not land on Dragon. He did have flash up, but not worth going for the Dragon deny. It basically would have just been a deny to deny the first buff 6% from Winterfox.
Hey, it would give Impact move speed, which is damage.
That's true.
Care a little bit about this one.
Also, give Yasuo some move speed, which he desperately needs to run away.
That's I don't know if he's going to get away with those. You got a flash for that one. I don't know how it's going to go for him, but we're seeing Altec still pick up farm. Impulse a little bit stagnating here, but Baron was the goal all along. They got some wards down. Gleb's pretty close by. They jump right into Helios. The Baron's a bait after all, but no
right
kill
over the
pressure
wall.
comes in.
Right
they
back
flash
in.
back in. The Lantern helps. Zed's far away. Helios does take down Impact. And they get the Baron, though. Now Team Impulse forced right away. It is a 4v5. The hook in. They want to battle
Belter's
anyway.
on the way.
Belter is on the way. You got to be careful. Agent will die for his sins. It's now a 5v3, and here comes Zed. Who's the target? Can he reach it?
Split second too late. What about Rush? Yeah, he got one.
Yep. Deathmark comes in, pops the shield. Looks like the heal make him survive. Glebe actually forced a flash away from Graves. It's a 2 for 0, but Baron goes to Team Impulse.
Yeah. Winterfox made the call to stop Pobelter's split push and come up to head off Dragon or Baron. Rush with the spear steal on his own romp. But yeah, so you know, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
If they had kept the split push going, then they could have gotten another turret. But definitely looking to clean up those kills and take away the Baron buffs as quickly as possible. That was the goal with calling Pobelter over to cut them off. Maybe take a couple more Baron buffs off the field. Good play there from Impulse, though. Everybody except Impact could jump back into the pit, though, as they all used their dashes to get over, and Hecarim left without any sort of flash or escape or anything. Went down after the wall jump failed. So Winterfox grabbed themselves a little bit of cash with those kills. And Impulse are able to take the Baron, but we'll see if that even translates into any turrets. You know, there's one secondary turret standing up. They could funnel their efforts down bottom. Pobelter, though, is going to try and keep up the split push. And the thing about these AD carry-centric comps that have plenty of supports is they're very good at defending turrets.
They are.
It's actually the best spot for them to fight because Altec gets that extra defensive structure to hide behind.
Yeah. And if it's bot lane, Deep gets a shield for it.
Exactly.
If it's still the tier 2 anyway.
So you can see Impulse are a little bit hesitant. Impact, though, heading down to try and keep Pobelter in check.
Yeah.
As you said, even with a frozen heart, Pobelter probably could take the 1 versus 1. Good wards in the river will alert him that it's not a 1 versus 1.
True.
So he needs to back
Out
off.
he runs. Impulse looking for the bot lane either way, though. Of course, they've got a few more seconds with Baron, about 30 seconds. And why not get a tier 2 turret for that one? You typically want to get 1 to 2 tier 2 turrets per Baron buff.
Altec is also trying to trade right now. So without Twitch there, it becomes a lot more difficult to defend this turret. So Altec trying to make his way over. The minion wave will get there before him, though. And see if Impulse can rush it down.
All right, this is the wave they get. This is the last Baron buffed wave I think Team Impulse gets here. A couple auto attacks come in. They got to be a bit afraid of Zed. Hook on Avalon. Not going to chase it, though.
They don't finish the turret, and Altec has arrived.
All right, so, okay, they got remnants left half away from the first one. One more attempt. Trinity Force buff is there, and they will get it. As Baron times out, Winterfox will give them the space to take this. So all 6 turrets outside the base are gone. Dragon's up in 2 minutes, thanks for that nice and shiny timer. And Impulse will go into that with a 7,000 gold lead.
Yeah, great timing for them, too. There's a giant wave up top, so Baron buff runs out. They got the last outer turret. Somebody will be able to soak up that giant blob of money. Looks like they will elect Xiao to go grab it. Interesting. He wants to complete an Infinity Edge.
Well, 0-3-0, but almost highest minion kills in the game, so Xiao keeping his farm up, if not the team fight, but to slay minions faster. Altec, though, waiting in the wings to trap this.
Ooh, trying to use the minion wave as bait here.
Rush is nearby. Thresh near that side of the map as well, but Winterfox don't pull the trigger. Reinforcements are very far away, and Impact, I guess he doesn't have teleport. He couldn't show up, but he does not yet show on the bot side of the map. Pobelter still pushing that lane in. We might see those two face off soon. 1 level lead for Pobelter. And now 1 minute on Dragon.
1 minute on Dragon. Impact down here answering the split push. He will be able to base teleport in with Home Guard buff. Now, it's so important for Winterfox to ward their flanks because they cannot afford for the Hecarim with Home Guard to get to Twitch. Their entire comp relies on Altec in the team fight. Oh, maybe Impact just gets killed here by Poba. Oh no, Xiao's got his back. And the rest of the team as well.
Yeah,
he's done for.
Pobelter, Ruin King, auto attack, kill picked up. Doesn't even need the lantern, he's gonna go push another wave. And takes it after all, okay.
See if they can get a turret for it. 3 hits,
yes.
Should be able to grab that sucker.
Hey, with Pobelter being that strong, requiring 2 people to stop him down, mid got pressured out. Finally, Winterfox gets their final outer turret. But 5v4, of course, still does mean Dragon. So Dragon 3 for Team Impulse without a single contest here. Minute and a half on Baron. Now, with this knowledge, Helios does get to go put wards down. He gets to set up for Baron a bit himself. But again, Impulse, the stronger team in the game, just gets to bully right back through those wards as quickly as they can see.
Heading straight up mid to start the siege as well. And again, they want to make use of Impact split pushing while he has teleport available. They have to be careful. Altec is looking to flank actually on the outside by himself.
The knockup lands, exhaust coming through though, and Altec stays alive, puts a lot of damage down with the rat-a-tat-tat, and Adrian forced to back out. Altec forced to flash into his base. Avalon with the shield does get out there, just trading damage back and forth, and Helios gets the first kill. Rush should be the second casualty. Winterfox wins the team fight down 8,000 gold. Impact though on the chase.
No!
Can't even get him. Wow.
Wow, indeed. Pobelter with some slick moves. Altec with some very, very ballsy plays.
Yeah.
Outside of the base, using the base gate, relying on his flash. Support not even in the area. Apollo is definitely not expecting that one. Wind wall goes up though. Hook hits, and it triggers the Yasuo ult. Glebe jumps into action though, able to save him with the Janna ultimate. That was huge. Spear landing just prompts the flash, but just watch Pobelter do his work in the backline here. Finishes up Rux. Impact waits around at the shadow because he figures that Pobelter will eventually come back to it, and yes he does. Just so happens though that he waited long enough for the cooldown to come back up. Wow. The Pobelter and Altec show here for Winterfox.
Just like old times, they found a combo that works. Xiao, I want to talk about it a bit.
Okay.
So we mentioned the fact that teams are 1-6 after beating Coast on Saturday. Xiao is the prime example of this tendency.
Yeah, he's like
0-3-0, now 1-4-0. By the way, he walked in just to get snowballed to Helios and die. He made it out after he engaged, walked back around the wall, took an ice blast, and was like, well, here's a kill, Helios, have fun.
And by the way, he saw the Nunu when he picked his Yasuo.
He saw everything on the game.
Yeah, this is once again, the situation where they're like, oh yeah, Yasuo worked against Coast, picked it into a counter matchup, right?
Yeah.
Should be able to pick it into anything. But Zed and Nunu, 2 of the most frustrating things to play against as Yasuo, as his entire kit relies on attack speed. And Nunu, actually has the most attack speed reduction abilities.
Oh, abilities, number of abilities, okay.
In the game, yeah, because his ult does as well.
Yeah. I think in terms of raw numbers, I will tell you now.
A wither is definitely something to worry about as Yasuo as well, especially since it has such a low cooldown.
And of course, Frozen Heart here and completed on Helios makes things less fun. Double Ruin King will give tank busting power to the damage core of the Winterfox lineup. By the way, Avalon still having a good game here, still up in minions over Impact. If I told you this would happen, you wouldn't have believed.
Calm down, Freak. He's playing Lulu against Hecarim, plus there was a lane swap.
Sure.
But yes.
He's finding farm, though.
True.
And that's a bright thing here for Winterfox.
It is. He only has 1 death. And he's a big part of keeping Altec up when Altec does not have flash. Now that he does not have the escape summoner, Altec will have to adjust his playstyle a little bit and stay a bit closer to his supports. But we did see, the power of fully buffing up an AD carry, and here we go again. Frontline though, Adrian.
I think they saw it coming.
Yeah, Rush comes in with the Oracles. Those upgrades, not only the Oracle upgrades, but also the pink wards. Huge, as we've seen already from Impact buying so many pink wards early on. They do need to keep up that true sight to spot Altec. And Altec actually has to be very careful with going for those, because if you walk by a brush with a pink ward in it, that when you're trying to get up a good position for an opening with Twitch, and Impulse are aware of your position, then your entire team will collapse if Twitch gets caught out.
Yeah, Altec has to play this one smart so far.
So far, he's doing a great job.
Yeah. All the backline killing champions for Team Impulse, Impact and Xiao specifically, they're big gap closers. Once you Janna them out, they don't have an easy way of getting back in. They're blowing all those cooldowns to reach. So
True.
if he doesn't get one shot, which Janna Lulu seems to be able to prevent, you don't reach Twitch anymore. It's just the wind wall keeping you alive at this point. So
And the thing is, Graves would be the follow-up, but Nunu is so good at body blocking. Helios, if he manages to take collateral damage, the explosion range does not extend that far back.
Nope.
And Altec should be able to hover far enough back to stay safe.
all right, so the question is, what can Impulse do to play the advantage? They still sit at a 7,000 gold lead. There's still 3 dragons to 1. Their ward's a little deep on the dragon side. That is coming up in 30 seconds. Maybe they can play for that condition and just destroy you with burning.
I do like the setup here. Cleaning Baron and then leaving a bunch of pink wards in stray brush, just so you may get that opportunity where you're alerted to Altec's position during the stealth and can try and make a play then. Pobelter, though, not even returning to the split push because they cannot risk Baron being rushed down. Teleport does come in.
All right. Well, they forced the cooldown. 4.5 minutes for Avalon.
Quite big.
All right. Team Impulse able to walk back, just bringing a cooldown there. Really not a bad thing. And they're still looking around the mid lane. Altec is stealth, pops out. Xiao blocks the Ice Blast.
Wind
Not
wall
going to fall
down
into Helios.
well. The Wind Wall is such a big cooldown to keep track of as well, because wherever Altec opens up, Xiao needs to react very quickly to Wind Wall off that section.
Oh, I thought that was going to hit. Holy. Winterfox have a bit of control over mid lane. They will clear the wave first, which forces Impulse to a defensive position. And rushes off for the far side. Belter forced to jump away. Does take a javelin to the back. Half health on Zed. And it's now Impulse who have control, but I think their mid lane wave's already dead, so not much they can actually
They're
do.
shoving straight up the mid lane here. Xiao
I think they have 1 minion.
making a beeline for it.
Wow, Winterfox trying to pull them back around. If they can get positioning.
Oh,
Wait,
Altec
but
takes a Baron
Altec-
hit and a spear at the same time.
Wow, that's bad for him. And Rush starting to get poked down. We talked about Winterfox not having much engage power. So Team Impulse able to walk them around the map and throw javelins. There's no healing either. Winterfox forced to take a pretty rough recall. Minion wave coming in. Impulse now with the inside track themselves. They walk by a ton of wards.
Altec is not there. Teleport not available for Avalon. Those two are running from the base. Can Pobelter do enough to delay?
Winterfox are split 3 and 2. The other 2 members not here yet. In goes the engage. Helios blows up right off the bat. Nothing gained by Newton.
Altec has grouped up in the pit.
It's an easy one. There's the pickup. Blue team gets Baron. 5v4. Altec goes for the damage. Alba Pobelter takes the exhaust, but is there any follow-up? Looks like Spray and Pray is gone. The javelin hits in the back. Triple kill for Rush. And the chase continues towards the mid lane.
Baron, and they've got minions already outside of the base to buff up. They should be able to take an inhibitor off of this one. 30 seconds on both Pobelter and Altec. Team Impulse look to crack inside the base. Very, very big turning point here.
Wow.
Those inhibitor turrets are the hardest to crack.
But they made it happen with one of the shortest range teams available. 20 seconds on respawns. They're going for the Nexus pressure here, and they've got away with Baron buff Helios to slow down Xiao, but Nexus turret number 1 going to be a casualty. They ult in onto Helios. Wind wall to help secure that one. And now for turret number 2, 8 seconds on Twitch. Can they keep going? Impact is dead, but he has teleport. Now they're going to look for this one. Xiao will get killed. And Winterfox with a bit of time to now move their way around the map. Most objectives are dead.
The Dungeon Spear.
Impact has teleport. Are there anything?
The support flows.
Knock up there. Shut down for Altec. On to Adrian. A couple more kills picked up.
Shut down, very, very key here. Altec already has all of his armor penetration. If he can get the Infinity Edge built, they can still win a team fight.
Blue team's pinging a ward. They have a ward, I want to say. They don't know. They have no way of TPing.
Not inside. That's a skull and crossbones. Marking Xiao.
I saw a blue block and a ping, and I was like, oh my god, are they backdooring? No.
Xiao left his mark inside the base.
Oh, he left his mark on my fantasy team as well. 1-5-3. It's actually negative before CS. Well, I guess 0 before CS.
Well, the story's still here. Even though Winterfox has been behind all games since the great early targeting from Impulse, going straight at Altec from the very beginning, Winterfox have constantly been trying to fight back from the losing score, yet they're still holding on. They're still hanging in there.
They're winning kills.
They've managed to get some money onto Altec.
Yeah, Altec started this game 1-4. He's now 5-6. It's an improvement, if not an amazing score at this time right now, but
also, something that we rarely see is Zed upgrading the Brutalizer into the Cleaver for more armor shed for Altec. So the more team fighting focus for Poe Belter for the next team fight, the Shadow Slash, trying to get that off on everybody. Not only will Altec be able to hit everybody, but any extra armor penetration they can get. Altec already getting close to true damage with what he's got on the no armor targets.
Impulse looks like, yep, Dragon was under 3 minutes. It's now 2, and they've already started to play the ward gamer on this one. Dragon 5 is happening at about 41 minutes into the game time here. Impulse, if they can secure that, will have a massive lead and can likely turn that into a game-winning push. It'll even coincide with Baron respawning for part of it, so a lot of big neutrals.
Right, so pretty much everything depending on the next team fight here.
Yeah.
So we should probably go over the big things Winterfox are looking for in that team fight. I feel like the Polymorph is best used on Hecarim rather than even Yasuo. Just try and knock Yasuo's ultimate out with the Janna ultimate. And Altec will have an easy time cleaning up that Yasuo after it gets knocked off the ultimate. Whereas Hecarim, not only does he have 3 armor items, but one of the armor items causes Altec to hurt himself, the Thornmail. So just try and keep Impact CC'd. Slow him down, polymorph him. Doesn't matter, Avalon got caught.
Avalon immediately explodes. He takes the hook, a 1-for-0. In goes Belter, but drops right away. This could be the game for Impulse. It's going to be Altec getting hit up as well. A 3-man ulti, and Xiao going to find a lot. 3 kills onto Apollo. There's the Nexus. There's the game. Team Impulse certainly not pretty. But they take a win here in this one. Still looking good in the playoff picture.
Well, good pick to end the game there, finding Avalon and ensuring the win there for Impulse. They had the lead all game long. They had a good early start. Couple of hiccups there. Xiao knows he's having a laugh. Yes, Poe Belter got the better of him several times, but he gets the last laugh. 361 CS, the most in the game, as well as the victory screen.
And Impulse are here now in a tie with, no, they're at 10 wins right here. Yeah, they're in a tie with Cloud9 for 3rd. So they can look to make a move up the standings, maybe get an easier playoff spot. Winterfox and Dignitas are out of playoff run. I believe they're out of reach for 7th place as well.
This is great news for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I have to look at Team Liquid's record to be sure on this one, but we know there is definitely no playoffs for Winterfox. I'm not certain on 7th place, but Team Liquid are actually falling behind late in the season as we see Team Impulse continue to surge. I do hope for Impulse's sake, by the way, after watching this game, that this was an overconfidence week for them. They were playing the 2 lowest teams in the standings, and you would not expect Impulse, who are, in my opinion, a top 3 team in NA based on the recent results, not counting this week. I was like, yeah, Impulse are like a favorite to like maybe even qualify for MSI here, but games like this are not games that I was used to seeing Impulse play. Xiao 1-5-6. He got to choose the mid lane matchup. Both games chose a bad matchup just to style on people. It kind of backfired both times. The rest of the team did well.
Definitely did this game.
Yeah. I just hope that's them being overconfident and not really think this is the right choice.
So there's also the strategy where if you feel that you have a really easy week, then you take picks to make people think that these are high priority for you. I don't think anyone is really fooled, though, and I don't think that Yasuo will see any Yasuo bans. I don't think Xiao's going to draw anything like that.
None of them have been impressive.
But that is a tactic that you can go for to try and mess with people later on during playoffs going into pick bans.
All right, well, Impulse improving to 10-6. At least a win for them, a 2-0 week for these guys. But for now, going to send it over to our brain trust on the analyst desk to share their thoughts on Impulse's win.
Thank you, gentlemen. I want to talk about Pobelter Zed. Very strong in the early game, carried Winterfox through that early and mid game, and at least gave them the opportunity to scale the Twitch into the late game and have a team fight presence. Now, it didn't work out because of the picks set up by Adrian and the follow through of the Hecarim. And Rush's Nidalee actually played very well, still a little solo queue-esque, sometimes going a little ham, but I think the follow-up on that was really what hammered it home there for Impulse.
Yeah, he did a really good job during the laning phase, and I absolutely hate that matchup when I'm playing Yasuo against a Zed, because it feels like it is kind of a skill matchup, but Zed has 8 ways to outplay the Yasuo, and Yasuo has 1 or 2 ways to outplay the Zed. There's just more tools at his disposal. And then eventually Xiao was like, oh, I don't have to 1v1 him. Let's just get Impact in here too. And then they were able to just shut that down because they put a lot of pressure on Altec, and Altec just couldn't get off the ground. And it seemed like a composition centered around the Twitch really getting off the ground and doing good things for the team and getting to eventually some crit items that he can just blast through that lineup that we had on TIP's side. But they never got to that point.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's easy to overlook Impulse for having an easy schedule this week to go 2-0. I mean, they beat Coast and Winterfox, but they are now on a 5-game winning streak and really looking strong. Like, the way they were able to kill Twitch again and again and again, yes, there were a few things Altec and Winterfox could have done to avoid that, but it showed a pretty defined focus on what they needed to do to win that game. Even with all the kills they had onto Altec, he was still kind of scary in teamfights. Imagine if they had not shut him down the way they did. So I definitely do want to credit Impulse for their focus early game in this one to be able to overcome all of Xiao's 1v1 deaths and still have a pretty easy victory.
Absolutely. Looking very strong. They have Dignitas next week as well as CLG, so they kind of have both representations of the bracket left to play, or the bracket to play against, right? Bottom tier team and a top tier team to really show up. Maybe move themselves up into that top 3 scenario, right? They're sitting at 10-6. When we look at those playoff race, seeding is really going to be coming down to the wire.
Yeah, pretty much around all the way from 6th to 1st, there's just 1 game between every little movement up. Like 5 and 6 is right next to 3rd by 1 game. 3rd is right next to 2nd by 1 game. It's just so much movement can happen in these last 2 games that we have next week. So right now, we know that the bottom 4 teams, or the bottom 3 teams, are locked in for relegation. Just they have to get their order and then playoffs at the same time.
Let's make the distinction. They're not locked into relegation because there is the possibility of Winterfox and Dignitas tying Liquid and then for that 7th place. They cannot make playoffs, though. So at this point, Winterfox, Dignitas can't make it into playoffs. They could contest for 7th with a Team Liquid loss in the next game.
Out of the bottom 4 teams, 3 of them will be going to relegation, and we know those 4 teams. We just don't know which of the 3 they are there.
Correct.
Yeah. And Impulse, I mean, they have much happier thoughts coming into this one. I'm really excited for the matchup we're going to have CLG versus Impulse Sunday next week, because there's a legitimate chance that could be for the 2nd seed in the LCS.
Right, for a bye in
which
that first round.
Absolutely crazy when you look at the path of Team Impulse this year. They didn't have anything close to their full roster on the first game. Their impact didn't show up. They were this slow to turn on team. We kept talking about this team having a really high ceiling, and then they kept losing. You know, at the middle point of week 4, they were not a good team, right? But in these last few weeks, they've come together so well. Impact is a great top laner. Apollo is looking like a great AD carry. It's just working.
Now, back to the conversation about the bottom side of the bracket. Winterfox, I do feel like, is the team that could still make it to that 7th spot over Dignitas, given their matchups, right? They're playing Liquid themselves, right, next week. So that's, I mean, you have to win that game, right?
Here's the problem.
But they're also playing Coast.
Yeah.
And based on their play today, I want to call back to what Kobe said about them not in their game yesterday, they didn't necessarily pick the champions that supported this old roster they were finding some success with. Well, today they went back to the assassin carry mid laner, which Pobelter performed on, as well as having a hyper carry, AD carry that if they had funneled maybe a little bit more onto and not gotten caught out there at the end of the game, this was a winnable game for them. So looking at the next two, like, it is not out of the realm of possibility that they move into that 7th place spot and make it into the summer split.
It would be, though, if Team Liquid wins their next game
Yes.
against Coast. Then it's completely out of their hands. So they've lost the ability to control their own fate now. They're just going to have to hope Coast on a 13-game losing streak plays spoiler, which is a tough ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we do have to take a 210-second broadcaster cooldown, but when we return, we'll see if that question is answered there in our final game of the day, Coast versus Team Liquid. You're watching the NALCS.
You can sync to each other, and that'll definitely make it into the LCS broadcast.
Rising up. Na, 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 na.
That's good, that's good.
Rush not ready to get away from that one. The damage will be enough. Alltech at 1 and 4 gets a kill, but gets hooked too. Not a good thing for the Rat.
I got it. Go,
Baron
go, go,
1k,
go.
Baron 1k.
Okay, we can still fight. Yasuo note, Yasuo note. Go, go, go.
I'm coming up, wait till I get there.
Watching Thresh. Watching Thresh.
I'm coming up, I'm going this way.
Goes to the damage out, but Pobelter takes the exhaust, but is there any follow-up? Looks like Spray and Pray is gone. The Javelin hits the back. Immediately explodes. He takes the hook, a 1 for 0. In goes Belter, but drops right away. This could be the game for Impulse. Team Impulse certainly not pretty. They take a win here in this one.